We have a book review on one of my all-time favorite books, The Simple Plan to Wealth. It will help you invest for your future and become a wealthy individual. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on more videos like this, and I hope you enjoy. What is up, everyone? All right, we're doing a book review for the book The Simple Plan to Wealth. The author is J.L. Collins. The book was published in 2016. It is 286 pages, and it's $10 for a Kindle and $16 for a paperback. So, this is one of those books that I read when I was trying to really understand how to invest, and to me, this is I want to say this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, books on investing because it's so simple. It breaks it down, so simple to understand. And I highly recommend every single person read this. I don't care if you're actually a financial expert or you're not and you're doing something else completely different in life. You still need to understand how to invest. It is part of setting yourself up for a good future. When you are later down the road, you're not working anymore, and you need money to retire on, this is the book that will help you get to wealth. So this book came about because J.L. Collins was writing his daughter letters about money. And his daughter, I forget exactly what his daughter was doing, but his daughter was not a money person. She didn't understand the investment side of things, and she was busy off trying to make her career and all these other things. And he understood that she can't be a financial expert. She's not going to take her Series 7, but she needed to understand the simple ways to invest for her future because the author, J.L. Collins, found it so beneficial for him in his career to be able to have a nice stack of money in his investment accounts that he knew that his daughter needed to have this. So it started off just with him writing letters to his daughter, and that's how the book came about. This book is obviously, like I said, about investing. I think it is the simplest book to understand for someone who's maybe a novice out there. Maybe you just started your career and you're like, what do I do? Where do I put my money? In a retirement retirement fund, stock index? Do I pick my own stocks? There's many options, and this is one of the things that helps break it down. J.L. Collins also really explains the benefits of things like index funds, ETF funds, target retirement funds, those broader investments that are safer, they're easier to invest in, and you get essentially the same return, if not better, than if you were to try to pick your own customized strategy. And this is part of the reason. This is part, if not a big portion of what has helped me as far as developing my own investment strategy. I now have a whole investment strategy. I write it in my book. It's been taken from a few different sources and a few different ideas of taking into account the safety and the time, right? The safety of the investment, the time it takes for me to actually get the returns I want, and the tax implications. Those three things are important to think about. And all this book, the whole thing, it really explains the reason and the need for FU money. So important for, I would say, two reasons. One reason is you definitely need to understand that later down the road, you need to have a nice pile of money ready for you when you retire. And two is when you have FU money, when you have a lot of money in your account and it's growing and it's getting earnings for you, when you have a lot of money in your account, you you won't be so stressed and nervous over every little thing that you do. I was talking to someone one day and they were explaining to me how this person didn't have to work because they were already loaded. And I was like, yeah, that's actually when you're loaded is the best time to work because you don't give a crap for the most part. I mean, you care about your job and everything, but what happens if you make a mistake or you don't do something correct? You already shouldn't have that fear of messing up, and I talk about that a lot on this podcast. But when you have a lot of money in your account and you know, hey, I'm going to be fine no matter what. I'm doing this for fun and I'm doing this because I care about the people I work with, and I just care about making good product or services, and I care about the work that I do. And when you have that, you have a lot of money in your account and you got FU money, you will work better because you won't feel the constraints of feeling so nervous and being stressed out over little things that you really shouldn't even be stressed out about. You can take time off from work if you really wanted to. If you have a whole bunch of money in your account and you're like, you know what, I want to take a year off and I want to go do something that is a little more risky for a job that I wouldn't have really pursued if I knew I needed to have a stable income every single month. So once you gain that FU money, which I'm working towards but don't have yet, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, but once you have that, it'll change the game for you. So this is one of my favorite all-time investment books. I think index funds, there's like two schools of thought with these types of things. One side is, hey, it's just a lazy way to invest. You can make more earnings. You can make more earnings doing picking your own investments. And the other side of it is, hey, index funds are the greatest things in sliced bread. I've studied up on both methods. I'm leaning towards not picking my own stocks and not picking anything and just going with index funds. And there's some reasons why. One is like that I mentioned a few things. One is time. Even if you could pick your own investments and somehow you're a slightly tiny bit higher than if you were with index funds, even if you could do that, you have to think about the time and effort involved in getting that slight increase. Because how I think about it is, with an index fund, I'm just throwing my money in and I get market average returns, and that's fine for me. And I spend almost no time doing this. It's just put my money in, dump it in, and later down the road, it's going to grow. When you have to pick your own stocks and all that stuff, or your own bonds and however else you want to invest your money. In this book, though, it keeps things pretty simple. After you read this book, you're going to say, wow, I have a pretty good idea on how I can invest my money and make a return. And it's not going to overcomplicate things with, here you can buy gold and you can buy silver and here are derivatives. Like, what the hell are you talking about? I just want to go do either run my business or run my career, be good at it, and on the back end, have my money grow for me without things being so goddamn complicated. And that's what this book does. But what I was saying, that the time aspect for index funds, how much you don't spend any time, but if you're doing pick your own stuff, you got to spend a lot of time every week or month reviewing the numbers. You got to pick new stocks. It's time consuming. And does that time justify the slight increase you might get over an index fund? And that's one thing. The second thing is, most people cannot pick consistently for 40 years, cannot pick their own stocks and their own investments for 40 years and have it be better than the market average. I don't think there's anyone. Warren Buffett keeps his money in index funds. Almost everyone keeps their money in index funds. I don't know who doesn't. I'm sure there are people out there that do, but I can't imagine if you look at just look at a 10-year average, that it's going to be better than an index fund. And so one is you wasted all this time to potentially really just get market averages, which you could have spent reading, which you gotta love to read. You could have spent making your skill set stronger, spend time with your family. You could have taken all that time it took to learn the best stock and all this stuff to do something actually better with your time. And you still would have got the same return, if not better, if you use an index fund. So I highly recommend reading this book. I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video. If you've read any other books that you think are really good for people who want to invest, please comment that in. If you have any other thoughts or opinions, or if you disagree with anything I'm saying here, share your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. Again, this is a self-development community, and we learn from each other. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on more videos like this. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.